Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T95, the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's located on the westbourne of Sand River and it's under the command of ProvoBob. Now last time we saw this T95, this tank destroyer, it was actually located on Arctic region or straight Mannerheim line. So this time round, Sandy River. Well, as you know, and I may have said already, this is basically a T28 with an extra set of tracks. Yes, you can see the divide where the extra set of tracks is put onto the vehicle. And in the game, Wargaming have put a T28 in, which is slightly remodeled, and of course the T95, which looks slightly different as well. But it's basically the same tank, just with extra tracks. Now, they have done this with a number of other tanks. You've got a T44, a T44-100, T34-85, T34-85M. Yeah, I'm afraid Wargaming likes introducing tanks that they've already bought, put into the game, and putting another version in as well. But this one, they're both non-premiums, whereas the T34-85M is a premium. And Wargaming have put other premiums into the game, such as the Scorpion and also the Scorpion G. Basically the same tank, and they're both premiums. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. It's got a 155mm gun, which with the standard AP is capable of penetrating 276mm of armour, and it's got 750 alpha. With the APCR that goes up to 320mm, and with the HE rounds you'll do 950 alpha and penetrate 90mm of armour. So if you can actually hit a thin-skinned vehicle, you might be able to wipe them out with one shot if you can get a pen. Well, he was thinking about that AMX 1390, but up there we've got a Leopard. Just see the corner of his vehicle. That one went into the tracks. Question if that was really worth firing. This is much better for a shooting solution. 15-second reload. Oh, we had a very good solution there on the Leopard. And that one definitely hit. Yes, 795, he got a good penetration. But the Wizzy 1201 GFT down there in the valley with his 120mm round has actually put a hole in our side. And the Leopard's trying to get his own back. In fact, actually, is that the same Leopard? It might actually be. Well, the Ram Panzer wasn't penned. That's the one with the blade on the front of the vehicle. Yeah, the bulldozer blade. Okay, they're both staying in a hold down position, trying to get shots on ProvoBob. Oh, took another shot from the Ram Panzer. But they're only hitting his track at the moment. Only the Wizzy 120 has actually put a round through the side of the vehicle. And as you can see actually here, there's a hole right at the side. I'm amazed that really didn't damage the engine. But he thinks the Ram Panzer's still behind that bush. He's not. He's moved away. There he is. It seems that the enemy are fairly reluctant to actually come around the corner, but that AMX 1390, he's spotting for the guys down south. No, that didn't have enough lead on the target to actually make sure that hit the spot. And here comes the Ram Panzer again, so he's going to get another try. But will he pull back in time? Yes, he does. And another hit in the tracks, but he's got a number of targets he can actually aim for. And he takes out the Conqueror with one shot. 2 block shots. Oh, another one into the tracks. And the reload stopped him from getting the MX 1390. And he's been tracked again. I just feel like singing Klaus Kellerman's song. He is tracked again. No, I know it's stunned, but, well, that's the one thing that happens to someone in a Doom Turtle. They get tracked a lot. And you can see the AMX 1390 is trying to get behind him, because he knows that the rear end of this tank destroyer is very vulnerable. Plus, of course, he knows if he can turn the T95 around, then his teammates can start putting rounds into him. Well, looks like the AMX 1390 did manage to get a round in him, but because he's tracked him in this particular way, he can't get shots on these guys. But he fires one into the rear end of the 252U, and he's completed a mission, whatever that mission was. He's still trying to defend these guys. Potentially, he's got a high caliber now, and he's now being assaulted by several tanks all at once. Whoa! Object 252U dies. Well, he got the assistance of the T30 to get rid of the AMX 1390. Or was it actually the Defender helped him get rid of that 1390 pest? And the T30 is now helping him against these other opponents. It looks like the FB4202 and the M48 RAM Panzer are the only ones really in this area. Oh, apart from the T69 over there. We're 2 up on the enemy at the moment, so things are going fairly well. Unfortunately, the T30 is actually in the way at the moment. We can't get a shot on that FB4202. And I think that the T30 is staying there because he's worried about that T69, the autoloader. Yeah, he's hiding behind the wreck, so the FB4202 doesn't really have an adequate shot. So ProvoBob's backing up so he can use the reverse side of this hill. And yes, beautiful kill there. It was only 170 hit points, but it was worth it. Still 2 up on the enemy. I think he's going to try and get around the T30 now. Let him stay on the wreck, and then he's going to push forward, either deal with the T69 or the RAM Panzer if they are still there. The RAM Panzer might have actually gone back. There's the T69. Okay, he's going to try and go over the ridgeline. Doesn't really want to get that Wizzy 120 firing at him again, but and he might if he actually pokes his nose up. Yeah, he's actually crossing over because I think he wants to go up this slope here to get at the RAM Panzer. And you can see that ProvoBob is in Australia. There's a kangaroo painted on the side of his vehicle. Yep. He's an Aussie. See the shots that the AMX 1390 made into the side. Bounced a few rounds as well. That's one of the AMX 1390 shots. That's why he lost so much in the way of hit points. But he's blocked 2,250 hit points so far, and he's done 2.6k of actual damage. But he's a fair distance away from the enemy cap, and it's about as far away from his own cap as it would be to get to the enemy cap. This tank doesn't go anywhere fast. 20 kilometers an hour forwards, 10 backwards. It's one of the slower tanks in the game, along with the T28, which is the same vehicle. Yep, you're not going to be setting any speed records in this vehicle, but you could actually set blocking records, because I do know that quite a few people have just driven their T95 out into the middle of a battlefield, and I'm pretty sure it was either Jingles or Quickie Baby showed a video, what, about 5 or 6 years ago, where somebody in their T95 just drove straight into the middle of the battlefield on Malinovka, and then virtually everyone started shooting at him, even some of his own team, and he was blocking insane amounts of damage because the shells just would not penetrate. They were either hitting the tracks or the front of the vehicle, but they just weren't going in. And so in the end, he just, once he'd finished taking as many rounds as he could and getting his steel wall, he decided he was going to fire back at the enemy. And one by one, he just obliterated them. Some of them were just HE rather than armor piercing rounds. And that 155mm boomstick is really quite impressive when you see it in action. In fact, both T30 and the T95 share the same caliber of gun. Well, we're headed for the enemy cap area, and the scores are now even, so they've managed to claw 2 tanks back. The question is, will they be able to do any damage at all to ProvoBob as he approaches them? He's giving the enemy cap area a good look over. Doesn't appear to be anyone here. Ah, the Ram Panzer's been spotted. There he is. Oh, good shot. He wasn't fully dialed in, but it went right through for 659 hit points, which was a low roll. If it had been a slightly higher roll and, you know, an average roll, that guy would have been dead. But I think he's gone behind those houses in the village now. Or has he gone down into the dip? Into the riverbed? Oh dear, we're now 2 tanks down on the enemy. And it looks to me like they're actually headed towards our cap area. And we really don't have the speed to get back if they do try to cap. On the face of it, it's just the T30 and the T95 facing 5 enemies, and I have the feeling the enemy's going to start capping very shortly. Possibly the T69 or the AMX30 are going to get into our cap, and that's going to be the end of the game, because they're going to cap out and we're going to lose. But well, he's come this far, he might as well get to the cap and start capping and then wait for the enemy to come to him. But if that does happen, I'm pretty sure that the enemy will try to get as many resets as they can to get defenders medals. And well, ProvoBob, he's going to have a tough time trying to hold on to his capture points. And they have started capping. Yep, what I foretold has happened. Yep, they've realised the weakness of this team now. These tanks, both of them, are just too slow to actually get back into the enemy, to their own cap in time. And I think rather than actually just sit in the cap, ProvoBob's decided he's going to go through as many of the defenders as he can. And there's the first one, the Strid S1. Now, he didn't get a shot in, the guy's in siege mode, and there wasn't a lot that he could shoot at really, because he wasn't showing much. He was hull down, and anything that was going to hit was more than likely either going to get overmatched or, well, it's just going to bounce off. Oh, gets one into the T69, but we lost the T30, and that tank is an autoloader, and he doesn't want to present his side to the Striv, so he's just going to hit this guy, and he should be loading the HE rounds to mobilise the guy. So if he tries to push on the Striv, he's going to get the T69 shooting into his side, and they capped out at the other end, so it's all over. What a pity. A lot of work done, but he was alive at the end of the game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, second class tanker for ProvoBob in the T95. He also managed to get a duelist for taking down 2 tanks that damaged him, a shield proof for blocking more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and he got the steel wall, a battle hero medal, because he blocked more damage in that battle than anyone else, at least 11 hits, and survived the game. His win rate for the battle was 4,303. When we look at the team score, we can see that he didn't do the highest damage in the game. No, that went to the AMX30, who picked up 5,711 hit points of damage, got a high caliber and a Confederate in that one, Sir Dingleberry. And, well, the next highest scorer was ProvoBob with 4,153, followed by the Leopard prototype on his own team with 2,948. When it came to kills, it was shared between ProvoBob and the T69. Both got 3 kills each, and then came the M103, the AMX30, the T95 and the Conqueror with 2 kills apiece. When it came to base XP, it's the T69 that came out the best with 1,176, 1027 went to the AMX30, 952 went to the FP4002, and ProvoBob managed 620 as the last one live on his team. He fired 13 rounds, got 9 direct hits, 7 penetrations, damage of 4,153 hit points, of which 1,454 were at more than 300 meters. He received 21 hits from the enemy in that game, 5 of them penetrations, one of those from the Wizzy 120, the rest of them from the Batchat 1390, and 16 non-penetrations, most of those coming from the tanks in front of him who just weren't able to get their shots in the target. 2,640 hit points of damage blocked by the armour, mostly by the tracks, and 7 enemy vehicles damaged and 3 killed, followed by 465 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 48,153 credits, got 24,077 credits from personal reserves, and 5,588 for courageous resistance. That's for getting a battle hero medal or an epic medal in a losing or drawn game. His total was 77,817 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 7,890 credits profit. He also earned 930 XP, got 567 for courageous resistance, and took away 1,497 experience points altogether. So I think we've really discovered that the fatal flaw in the T95 is that it is incredibly slow, incredibly heavy, and it just cannot get back to its own cap if it drives too far away from it in time to get a reset. So if you can't get back, you need somebody else alive on your team who's capable of getting a reset, and I think that T30 might have been capable of getting somewhere near his own cap if he'd taken the direct route. But if he did try the direct route, more than likely he was going to come across a few enemy tanks on the way back, and that probably would have been the end of his game. As it was, the T69 did nail him. So yeah, unfortunate, but there you go. It all comes down to the fact that the rest of his team just weren't up to the task of staying alive long enough to allow ProvoBob to get to the enemy cap and start capping. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, please. And thanks for watching.